Early voting in the 2018 midterms has been exceptionally high, with more than 31 million votes already cast nationwide. In several states across the country, voter turnout has well surpassed the 2014 midterm election. One factor behind the strong voter numbers has been strong youth voter turnout. According to the Washington Post, youth turnout rates in these midterms are up by 125% compared to 2014.
Just the current state of politics where young people are just pissed off is really going to motivate them a lot to get out to the polls.
David Hogg, a survivor of the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida, has been a constant voice on gun violence this year, making cable TV appearances, speaking at rallies, and leading protests across the country.
The fact that children are either on their way to school or are in school to learn about the issues of the world and then are taken victim by those issues before they can even go out and solve them should not be acceptable by our society.
Rihanna Holman is a high school student and activist in Chicago who's fighting to prevent gun violence on the south side of the city. She is part of Chicago's Brave Youth Leaders.
I'm not into politics. I don't want to speak about it. But I don't want to keep hearing these stories and not want to do anything about it. I want to take action. Remember that God gave me a voice. And it's up to me to use this voice for positive reasons and not negative influences.
If we could change the youth voter turnout from 1 in 5 to 1 in 4, we win.
Some attribute this surge in youth voting to an increased awareness of gun violence and gun issues. Since the Parkland shooting in February, youth voter registration has surged in several battleground states. David Hogg believes part of the reason gun violence resonates with young voters is because of how multifaceted an issue it is.
Transgender gun violence, there's hate crimes that are involved there. If you think about gun violence in inner cities, there's redlining and systemic poverty and racism that plays into that our government has had a major role in throughout the years that we need to reconcile with. There's so many other issues that play into it that we can also work to fix while we're fixing gun violence.
Hogg and many of his classmates from Parkland have recently turned their attention to the midterms and changing the historically low voter turnout amongst younger voters.
Personally, I just want people to go out and vote on this issue. What we're doing is we're pointing out how young people are systemically oppressed in all communities across the country and how voting is one of the ways, voting in not just this election but every election, could be a way of ending that.